Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
Every morning at 3 a.m. Cause that's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit chat talk with the fake friends. I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need a job, I'm on my grind.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to Kingdom Business Builder with America's coach, Clay Clark. Clay.
Hey, how are you there, Pastor Dave?
I am good, Clay.
Dave, I got to tell you a story that's a true story. It's a little bit crazy, but it's true, and it applies for everybody watching today's show. Do you remember when the Hunter Biden laptop was the news of the day? Do you remember when that was the big thing? That was the big story, was Hunter Biden's laptop. Can you believe it? Remember that whole situation?
Yep.
Well, Kash Patel and I were on a phone now, the FBI director, Kash Patel, and Kash says, Clay, you need to meet this particular guy to talk about this thing, and you guys should have a conversation, and you guys would love to meet each other. And so I find myself going to an NCAA college wrestling tournament to meet a man that I've never met before to discuss Hunter Biden's laptop and other things. And it was just sort of hey, you know about Hunter's laptop. He knows about this. Maybe you guys should connect. Maybe he'd be a great person to join the Reawaken tour. You know, that whole thing. And so randomly, I'm sitting by another man at this NCAA event, and the man says, Clay, what do you do? And I said, sir, what do you do? And I said, I grow companies. And I said, what do you do? He says, I'm a chiropractor. And I said, really? So we start talking about chiropractic care and wrestling. And he knows a lot about wrestling. I know nothing about wrestling. And at a certain point, he says, can I get your information? And I said, sure. I gave him my information. And now, Dave, just this week, he reached out to me and he said, hey, by the way, you've been coaching our business for about 6 months and we're doing very, very well, Dave. So here's the story of the guy I met at the wrestling event. Here we go. It's going to play. I believe it's going to play, Dave. I have to believe when I hit play, it's going to play. Feeling the flow. Here we go.
My name is Brooke Hertzler, and the name of our company is Modern Mental Health.
How would you describe the return on investment of having a weekly coaching meeting and access to a team to help you implement? How would you describe maybe the return on investment from your perspective?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Above expectations. I am a chiropractor. I did have a business coach, and it compared a long time ago compared to this. I was talking to Brooke last night about it. It's like night and day. It's pretty much a one-stop shop. You guys do so much, for the fee that you charge that pretty much covers everything. And it's stuff that Brooke and I don't know anything about. We're both caretakers, so we focus on that side of the business. And Carter helps us out with the other side of the business. So we're so blessed to have you guys, through this process, because we definitely wouldn't be able to do it without you. For sure.
Now, Dave, this is a guy I met at a wrestling tournament, completely unrelated to growing a business. He says, what do you do? We start talking about chiropractic care. He starts pointing out, hey, I want to grow my practice, grow my business. And point number one I want to talk about on today's show is today is the day. Yes, the time will never be just right. You must act now. And Dave, we're there at this wrestling tournament. And Dave, you saw it in corporate America. You would go into a market with the phone company, with the phone industry. You were big into the telecom industry. And you would have a market that wasn't performing. Yeah. And you would somehow have to create a sense of urgency and say, guys, I know that your market hasn't traditionally done well. Your region hasn't done well or whatever. But the reason why I'm here is to turn it around and to go from losing to winning. Dave, can you talk about the impact that it has on your life and those around you when you start to seize the day, my friend?
Well, you get that confidence level by just having that success going in. And one of the things I always used to do is identify our competition and see what they do and why they had so much market share, and then create a strategy to take that market share to us. And it worked every time.
Now, I'll say this, folks. One of the reasons why I love connecting with Dave is one, Dave, you love God. That's the number one source. Two, you and I have read a lot of the same books, so it's kind of fun because there's not a whole lot of people that can go back and forth talking about Jim Rohn and Napoleon Hill. And by the way, folks, if you ever read Jim Rohn or Napoleon Hill, please know that if they ever say something that goes against the Bible, because they are not prophets, they were not, apostles, go with the Bible. They're right 99% of the time, I would say, but if they ever go against the Bible, go with the Bible. But again, so pro tip number one, there's 5 tips I want to give everybody today. And by the way, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of entrepreneurs who've gone from just surviving to thriving. So the first one, Napoleon Hill said, action is the real measure of intelligence. So this gentleman, I'm sitting next to him, and he, at the end of this wrestling match, he's going, you just explained to me specifically what I need to do to grow my business. I go, absolutely. He said, that's amazing. Can I get your information? I said, sure. So I sent him a case study to a chiropractor we had helped. I sent him a video case study to another chiropractor we had helped. I sent him a video to a medical clinic we had helped. I gave him so many examples, Dave. We have thousands of them recorded at thrivetimeshow.com. I sent it to him, and Dave, I didn't follow up beyond that. I just said, hey, I called him. I said, did you receive him? He said, yes. And I told him, I said, hey, you can, whenever the time is right, you can reach out to me. And he said during this video, it took over a year for him to say, you know what? I am tired of just barely getting by. I'm going to call you guys. And folks, in 6 months, we've totally turned around his Pennsylvania-based business. And what if he had called us a year before? He would have had success a year earlier. So if you're watching today's show, and I want to be very clear, Dave, I don't know if a lot of your listeners know this. We charge $1,700 a month to help coach businesses one-on-one down a proven path, but we do a scholarship. So one of the ladies that we brought to the conference, she was there at the conference in Anaheim, Dave. You saw her on stage. I won't mention her name in particular, but this woman was struggling when I met her. And so we did a scholarship, and we charged her $750 a month, and now she has a business that's producing millions of dollars. Wow. And so if you're watching today's show and you say, you know what, I can't afford $1,700 for a team to teach me photography, video, web, search engine, help me implement it, guide me down a proven path, but I can pay something. You know, Dave, we do scholarships to help people, but the big principle I want to hit on, principle number one, is, Dave, you've got to take action. I mean, even Jesus, he called somebody, he said, hey, listen, I need you to follow me. And the gentleman says, I can't follow you now, Jesus. There's a funeral going on. I'm needed in the funeral. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And Jesus said, hey, let the dead bury their dead. Jesus said in Luke chapter 9, verse 5, he said, we're supposed to go house to house, laying hands on the sick, casting out demons, right? Casting out devils. And then if we get rejected, just shake the dust off our sandals. Jesus, he had 3 primary years of ministry where he reached the world. He taught these apostles who went out to change the world. But there was an urgency, Dave, and I just don't know that I am communicating with enough enthusiasm how much urgency we have to have, Dave, if we're going to go from not doing well to actually thriving.
You got to take massive action. You can't wait another day. You can't wait a year because your profits and loss depend on that. And so does your livelihood. You know, one thing you said earlier, Clay, that hit me when that chiropractor spoke to you. I see that in a lot of people's faces at these conferences. They get that moment of, aha, I get it. And then that sets the tone for them to get in there deeper. I see it all the time.
And in that moment you just said about aha.
Yep.
I need to do a better job of communicating that moment because that's what happens. It's that little spark. I talked to a guy yesterday, Dave, who has an automotive repair business, and he's in the Northeast. I talked to this guy. I'll be very vague, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or call him out, but he and his wife could barely afford to come to the Anaheim conference. They could just barely get there, and I grew up poor. I get it. So they could barely get there. He sat down during lunch and talked to a couple of the attendees that were now massively successful. So we at our conferences, Dave, you know this, there's 300 some odd people in the audience, and I'd say 45 of them are success stories, people that we've coached and we still work with. And he sat down with this guy, and one of the particular speakers was just telling him, look, man, I was struggling. You are struggling. Just take action. And the guy said, well, you know, I can't, if I go to thrivetimeshow.com, you know, I can't afford $1,700 a month. And the guy said, look, I was on a scholarship too. Okay. I don't want to like run around telling people I was paying almost nothing, but look at me now. I have a multi-million-dollar company. So again, everybody out there, go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's the source you go to, thrivetimeshow.com. Schedule a free 13-point assessment. I'll help you. Pro tip number 2, coming in hot here. Okay. Pro tip number 2, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. I'm quoting Jim Rohn now. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Folks, I'm talking about going from startup to super success. I'm talking about going from barely making it to thriving. I'm talking about going from surviving to thriving. Dave, if you really want to do something, Jim Rohn says, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. So as we head into the break, I encourage everybody, go to thrivetimeshow.com and click on the testimonials button. Dave, what is it within the human mindset where we have that aha moment or we don't? What is it?
I think we just get conditioned into being lackadaisical. We got to get rid of that lackadaisical. We got to keep that fire and that drive to achieve. And that's got to have an aha moment, but you got to take action. That's the key difference between those who are doing it and those who don't, is taking action, putting that first foot forward.
The last time I'd heard somebody use the word lackadaisical was Eddie Sutton, the Hall of Fame basketball coach. The last guy I heard to use that consistently, Eddie Sutton, Hall of Fame basketball coach, did not like when players were lazy. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be back after the break. And again, go to thrivetimeshow.com to get your tickets right there.
Parasites are real. I can prove parasites are real. I know they're out in the world today. That's why I recommend Purge Advanced Parasite Cleanse.
Purge, crafted with an all-natural blend of 19 powerful ingredients, designed to target and eliminate every type of parasite inside the human body. Join thousands of users who've already transformed their health. Order now at www.purgestore.com/hisglory and use code HISGLORY for 10% off discount.
Your money is vanishing faster than ever before, and no one is coming to save it. But you can protect your savings starting right now, completely tax and penalty free. Goldco has helped protect billions in retirement savings with real gold and silver. At His Glory, we trust them, and today we want to send you a free gold and silver protection kit. Act now and you'll receive up to 10% in free silver. And if you have $25,000 or more in an IRA savings, Goldco will also send you a free Ronald Reagan silver coin. Supplies are limited. Scan the QR code or click the link to get your free kit today. Goldco will protect what God has entrusted to you. Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend. After years of research, Dr. Marty has decided to release an information video showcasing exactly which foods you should stop feeding your dog, which you can find out right now by going to hisglorypet.com. You won't believe how simple it is. Join Pastor Dave and His Glory team on a life-changing journey through Greece. Experience scripture where the Apostle Paul preached, deepening your connection with Jesus. Strengthen your faith, unite with fellow believers, and return home renewed in spirit. Join us in Greece from October 16th, 2026 through the 25th. Scan the QR code to reserve your spot today or go to hisglory.me/events. Billion Soul Donation. Become a Billion Soul partner. By giving $30 or more monthly and support our mission to reach 1 billion souls for Christ. And a thank you, you'll get receive a copy of my book, All for His Glory, and also enter to a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to either the Footprints of Paul, which is our trip to Greece next year, or our trip back to Israel. So we're going to be having two big trips next year back, taking a group back to Israel, and the first time ever, the Apostle Paul Footprints in Greece. It's going to be a magnificent trip. All right, we're back with Clay Clark. We're talking the break. It's such a small world.
It is a small world. And again, folks, I'm just trying to be very sincere with everybody out there. I grew up without money, and I know when you don't have the ability to pay your bills, everything in your life is about money. Yeah. And I see great people, they say, Clay, I really want to go get lunch. This happened at the Anaheim event. A woman said, hey, for lunch, I'd love to go join you, but, and I heard that little but in her voice, I'd love to come join you. I just heard her, I heard two attendees talking, and she's like, I'd love to join you guys for lunch, but, and the punchline of the story is a very wealthy individual who said, hey, I'll cover your lunches, don't worry about it. But I could, just right there, you could see two people were networking at the Anaheim event. They're in that little coffee house. And one guy said, hey, we'd love to go to lunch. And they go, yeah, I'd love to go to lunch, but, and you could tell there was a financial angst there. And the guy who was doing the inviting said, hey, don't worry about it, I'll cover it. And I know this story turned out the way that I'm describing right now because that particular gentleman reached out to do a 13-point assessment. And despite the fact that he has a very successful company, he wanted to schedule a 13-point assessment to see how he could scale his company. So if you're out there today and you're financially operating in the world of lack, I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking your character. I want to help you. I want to attack the problem. And I'm teaching you 5 super moves that you can use to go from poor to poor no more. So super move number 3, without leads, you will not succeed. Now, I don't care if you're selling insurance. By the way, the 39th highest earning insurance agent in America is a client of mine. We worked with him when he first was in there's thousands and thousands of insurance agents. And this guy was barely making it. And now he's the 39th highest earning insurance agent in America. That's a fact. There's a carpet cleaning company out there called OxyFresh, OXIFresh.com. We've had the pleasure of helping them grow from, small beginnings to 550 locations. Look that up. 550 locations. Folks, and someone says, are you kidding me? No. Folks, I have so many examples. Revitalize Medical Spa. This was a client we've had the opportunity to work with from like a startup. Now they have 3 thriving locations, revitalizemedicalspa.com. I'm going to keep going. Charles Colaw, he and his wife were training clients, personal trainers out of their house. Now they have, I think, 7 locations. That's colawfitness.com. Colawfitness.com. Switching it up a little bit. Shaw Homes, Aaron Ant Apprentice. They had been stuck at $14 million a year of sales. We helped Shaw Homes grow to $151 million in sales. They've been stuck for 30 years, by the way. For 30 years, they had never done more than $14 million of sales. And we helped them grow to $151 million. On a smaller note, but also a huge note in my mind, Karime and Sophia, the mom and daughter combo, we helped them go from a startup to a super successful company. Whistle and Clean cleaning service based in, I believe, in Ohio. Whistle and Clean cleaning service. So, Dave, we can help big companies, mid-sized companies, but you got to have leads if you want to succeed. Dave, when somebody goes to the hisglory.me site and they say, I want to join the Israel tour, they can request information, they can join, they can request a ticket, you can talk to them, and people reach out to you. But when you first started, when you and your wife were first getting going and you felt called to do the show, and it was you and a mic and your wife's iPad, what does that feel like when you don't have anybody reaching out, when you don't have anybody watching yet, and you don't have anybody asking to join your tour, there's just no momentum yet? What does that feel? Do you remember what that felt like when you first started? iPad, microphone, no listeners yet?
Yeah, it was, Lord, are you sure you want me to do this?
Yeah.
But you got to stand out in faith, take action, and step forward in faith.
And that happened. It's just, if you go to YouTube, folks, you can pull it up. Maybe your producer can pull it up, and you can look for Lawn Juggernaut. Lawn Juggernaut. This is a client we've had the honor to work with. This guy mows lawns. He finds your lawn in disrepair, and he turns it around, and he films it via YouTube. And this guy is absolutely dominating. That's Lawn Juggernaut on YouTube. That's the channel, Lawn Juggernaut. So again, I don't care what it is that you do. If you're out there today and you say, I have a business or a business idea, go to thrivetimeshow.com, find a way to join us. Now, we've got the Reawaken reunion coming up in June. And what we're doing for that, for all the attendees at that event, is you're going to have an incredible lineup. Del Bigtree just reached out. He's joining the lineup. Eric Trump is going to be there. Julie Green's going to be there. You're going to be there. The lineup is going to continue to grow. General Flynn will be in the house. It's going to be great. But what we're doing, I talked to Pastor Jackson. He said it's totally fine. Dave, we're going to throw in, if you're anybody who buys a ticket for the Reawaken reunion, on the Thursday before that event, we are going to do a business conference 100% free for any ticket buyers. So if you're a ticket buyer and you say, I want to grow a business. So Dave, it's kind of a 2-for-1, kind of a buy one, get one free kind of a deal. So if you buy a ticket for the Reawaken reunion at whatever price you want to pay, we'll do a business conference on the day before. And Dave, what I'm finding on the tour, and maybe you didn't find this, but this is what I found. I found some of the most pure-hearted, God-fearing people out there, people that are 100% committed to serving God. They oftentimes don't know how to provide financially. Yeah. It's not everybody, but oftentimes, and I find that some of the best people, I know I was raised by some of the best people, they love God, they serve God, they know God's word, but they just don't know how to generate leads. I want to get your thoughts on that, Dave. Why do you need leads to succeed?
Well, if you don't have leads to succeed, that's what leads you to your sales. No sales without leads, and you got to keep that funnel filled with leads and keep that going and have that process to turn those leads into sales. But keep that funnel always moving. If the funnel slows up with the leads, you're cooked.
Now, move number 4, and again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form taking credit for helping Julie Green reach the world. I think God has been behind that, and there's many people, your broadcast, my broadcast, others that have helped her expand her audience. But I want to share with you a true story. A woman called me and said, hey, you got to have Julie Green come join you. This was at the Oregon event. We were in this covered tent, one of the most expensive events we put on. You could see your breath when you talked, and Dave, you were there. It was a great event. Sean Foyt was there, and this woman called me and said, hey, Julie Green should join your lineup. And I didn't know who Julie Green was. All I knew is that a very sincere woman said Julie Green should join your lineup. So move number 4, everyone should write this down. Your business will be lost until it is found by your ideal and likely buyers. This just in. Your business will be lost until it is found by your ideal and likely buyers. So Dave, because at that time on the tour, we had Amanda Grace, we had Lance Wallnow, we had Donna Clement, so many wonderful people on the tour at that point. I thought it made sense to invite Julie Green because I'd heard great things about her from credible people. And I remember calling her and going, Julie, I'm not super familiar with your ministry, but many people that I trust are, and you should come join us in Oregon. And I think backstage, she became friends with so many people, because how could you not like Julie Green? Yep. And by her being there in the proximity of really well-connected, wonderful, God-fearing people, so many neat connections happened, and you could see them happening almost real time. As if you're watching this show right now, and your business, you're selling concrete, you have a roofing company, a fencing company, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're selling anything to anybody, your business by default is lost until it gets found by your ideal and likely buyers. And so many people came up to me at the Reawaken in Oregon. They go, I think I found my favorite speaker. She's so great. So many people said that to me. They said those words. They go, I think I found my favorite speaker. I love her. That's not being disparaging about myself or any other speakers, but people said, I like her. Where's she from? And they felt like they had discovered something new, because here's this super humble lady in Des Moines, Iowa, who hadn't, reached the masses yet. She had a lot of traction, but being in that proximity. And again, I'm just telling you folks, if your business is lost, you got to find out how to be found. So that's why at our conferences, we teach you search engine optimization, online ads, social media, how to launch a branding campaign, how to generate more sales. Again, that's move number 4. You got to figure out how your business can be found by your ideal and likely buyers. And if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com, and get your tickets, I promise, we'll teach you how to do it. And move number 5, final move here. Move number 5. Okay. If you want to go from not doing well to doing very well, if you don't sell, your life will not go well financially. Let's try that again. If you don't sell, your life will not go well financially. And so what I find is so many people have a lot of leads, a beautiful website, a great idea, a great product, but there are no sales. And if you go to grillblazer.com, folks, go to grillblazer.com, you're going to see a gentleman by the name of Bob Healy. And Bob Healy came to me. He invented this consumer-grade flamethrower, and it was something that everybody could use for grilling and cleaning your grill and it's a grilling tool. And Bob said, I got this great invention. I've got a patent. I've got a prototype that I need to refine a little bit, but I have no sales. And that story I just told you, I talk to people every single day that are living that story. There it is right there, grillblazer.com. And now the product, and today, that's almost like a household name for many grill enthusiasts. I mean, this is a big time product now. He sells millions of dollars of products a year, but he started by coming to a workshop. And so my calls to action today would be threefold. 1, if you are listening right now and you're not a subscriber to the His Glory broadcast or podcast, go on over to Rumble and click subscribe on the His Glory broadcast. That's going to help adjust that algorithm. It's going to help more people see it. It's one way you can help amplify the voice of Dave and all the great programs they put out, the War Report, interviews with Julie Green, etc. Go there right now. Go to rumble.com and click subscribe. It helps really reach more people. 2, find a way to go to thrivetimeshow.com, and request tickets for our upcoming Reawaken reunion, June 19th and 20th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. June 19th and 20th. It's going to be a great event. Dr. Stella Emanuel, Julie Green, Mel Kay, General Flynn, Pastor Dave, Eric Trump. It's going to be awesome. Amanda Grace. It's June 19th and 20th. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. And finally, schedule a 13-point assessment. If you own a business and you feel stuck, schedule a free 13-point assessment by going to thrivetimeshow.com and use promo code HISGLORY for a chance to win a backstage pass and a discount. That is all.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now, I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and people that parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 a.m. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is the creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's why I was on Clay, this technology you tell your group. I was so impressed because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to 100% growth. We're a full functioning company. It's great. We're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly, incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive, but I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something, and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or when was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay. And let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business? Or was that something that you were maybe excited about or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.